Look at that, shine in the sun. Just beautiful.
Hello everybody, it's Duncan Webster here from Boomer HQ. As you can see, there's a bit of action happening in the shed, but today I'm going to transform my Tinny into a Livescope system. Now this boat, if you have a look at it, basically we like prawning and crabbing in this boat, so we like to keep it nice and open, very uncluttered. For prawning and crabbing, we would even take out, this has got a 24 volt system here, so we would take that extra battery out, we would take the motor guide off, so there's nothing that can get caught, so you can have a good day crabbing or prawning. The only thing that's really protruding is this 9-inch Garmin screen. However, we do want to join the hundreds or thousands of people who are starting to go towards the Livescope system, and this is going to be a brand new addition to this boat, but also we're going to add this 12-inch screen to the big boat. So I wanted something that was really flexible. They're so expensive now that there's no point in having two, as far as I'm concerned. If you can figure out a way that you can use some of this expensive electronics on two boats, then that's a win as far as I'm concerned. So we're going to set this up in this boat. Now, as I say, we mainly use it for crabbing, prawning, and we also use it for live baiting up the creeks. And how we go about that is we don't go off the motor guide then, we go off the boomer anchor and on the side on. So basically, how we use our boomer anchor, and this is our little plug for it, but we put it in the mud mode, and that's 25% more holding capability in sand and mud when you open out this very amazing anchor, right? It's got the release mechanism, so if you get stuck, it releases very well. However, I can also show you how we set up our boat for live baiting when we're using live bait, and that is basically just tie the on like so. I'll just do it very quickly. And so there we have our anchor rope going out, and that anchor, that's a little 5 kilo anchor, but it'll hold this boat. It's a 4.3 metre top ender. It'll hold this boat side on in really strong current. We've proven that many times. And so basically all you do is you move this to get your boat at right angles to the current. And 2 people, 3 people can fish out of that, no problems at all like that. However, we're not talking about live baiting, we're talking about live scoping. So I'm going to just have a call it quits for now, and we'll get up in the boat and I'll show you a few things. So here we are up in the boat, and I've put a lot of thought into this to try and figure out a way that we could have a really flexible system that obviously you can take out of the boat, you can put in the boat, all that type of thing. This is a 9-inch screen. This is your Echo Map series screen that we've been using. It also will do side scanning, etc. But what we're going to do is obviously go to the big 12-inch screen, which I can still use the same transducer. It's a GT56 UHD, so it'll do side scan, it'll do all those sorts of things. However, I was looking and thinking, how can I have this system sitting here nice and neatly and still be able to move it in and out of the boat? And that's where I looked around for storage systems, packing systems, stuff like that, lots of toolboxes, etc., trying to figure out what would really work with this system. And I wanted it to be able to be moved around also. And I found it. I have found a wonderful system, and I'm not endorsed by Milwaukee, the Packout series. I'm not endorsed by them, but I've looked everywhere trying to find a really great system that has lots and lots of flexibility to set up a Livescope. So you end up basically with a side console system with a tiller steer, which is exactly what I wanted. So I'll show you what I bought, and then we'll put it in. You can have a look at the end result. So here we are. This is what we're going to put on the boat, right? So I've looked at a lot of storage systems trying to figure out a way that I could put it on and off the boat. And this Milwaukee Packout system is incredible. I have to say, when I saw it, I couldn't believe how many options it does give you. And I know it's not probably a marine designed system. It's probably more for toolboxes in the shed and stuff like that. But honestly, once I put this together and I show you how this system works, I think you'll agree it's very, very impressive. We've put the GLS 10 inside this box here, right? So that box and the screen are just one unit, and you can move that. You can move that unit all around the boat to wherever you want to look at your live scoping. And I'll show you that a little bit later on. We at Boomerankers here love innovation, and we love the fact that there is so much thought that has gone into this particular system. So this is basically the brains of the whole system. We've got the GLS 10 that is inside this box. It's well ventilated, and I'll show you how we've done that. We've got our 8412 Garmin system on top, and that whole system can be moved around inside the boat. But I'll show you now with a simple click of my fingers, and here we are with basically the finished product. I'd love to hear what some of the other systems are. I've heard of people putting their system in an old esky and their battery and everything in that. So, but this is what we ended up with. Obviously, I used this Milwaukee Packout system. I really liked it, mainly because of the flexibility of it. It was awesome. We've ended up with a system whereby I've got all little drawers to put lures or tools. There's a larger one at the bottom. There are way more different options that you've got. For example, I'm sitting here. If you wanted to make this into much more of a side console style, you could stack it higher. I think there's like a carton case that you could put in. You could put your battery inside that and go up higher. I think my concern was I didn't want to keep putting more and more weight over here on the starboard side of my boat. What have people done to balance their boat up? I'd be very interested. As for the system itself, I've got the Livescope going on the 12-inch screen, and this is a GPS map 8412. On this system here, which is my old system, is the 9-inch Echo Map system, and it can still do side scanning. So I'm actually able to change the transducer. I've got a 56 UHD, GT56 UHD transducer, so it will work on either or of these screens, which is awesome. I can have the wider screen if I really want to use a transducer. But what I have been also told is that if you have the transducer going with your Livescope, that sometimes that can be interference. So that's why I've sort of opted to keep my transducer on a different system and keep this system totally independent. But there might be people who are doing that. They're running everything off the same system. I've also heard that there's people that run 24 volts. They run because I have a 24 volt system, and that runs straight onto their Livescope system. So there's lots of things I'm learning here. I'm not trying to make out I know everything or at all, but I just loved the flexibility of this particular packing system. So the beauty of this is I had to manufacture a bit of a couple of brackets, which is there and there, to actually lock everything down. Now my GLS 10, which is part of the Livescope system, is neatly packed inside there. So it's inside there, and I've blocked it up so that it's got some room, so there's a bit of air. There's a little bit of airflow. I might have to put some grommets and stuff in here. I'm not 100% sure. But that's another question I've got. Is there enough airflow for this system? What I thought I could do is, if I wanted to put a bit more airflow, I could just leave those open like that, and that leaves a little gap and allows those fins on the back of the GLS 10 to cool down. But like I say, there might be other people that have used this system and they think it's terrific or not, I'm not sure. However, I love being able to move this around. It is very, very good. I'm going to give this boat seat swivel, a plastic Titan swivel. That's what I've used here. And that system, so I can rotate. It's nice and firm. So the system isn't swinging around in the breeze. There's a nice firm feel about it. But not only that, you can actually press a button down here and I can pull that whole system there off if I wanted to. So I could actually just pull that screen off like that, and I could put the screen up the front. As long as I've got my cables sorted out, I can put it up the front and I can be using my Livescope just like that. Or I could put another bracket like that somewhere up the front and once again lock it in place, and it's there almost permanently. But we'll push it back into place. Right, so it's in place. This is how I'm going to move it around. Because of the pack-out system and the flexibility of it, all I've got to do is pull that little lever there, little trigger, you slip it out and you clip it up. Now I've got my GLS 10, I've got my power cords, everything going up to wherever I've got my Livescope. Swing that around. Yeah, and it's quite solid. It's quite a solid system there. And I'm up on the casting deck now. Got my GLS 10. You might ask, am I doing the right thing? It's in a bucket of water. So I've been told they get hot. So we've tried to obviously look after it. It's expensive gear and I want to get the most out of it. So that's that system there. I can't really tell you anything else. I'm very happy with it. Once again, all I've got to do is to put it back. I could actually put this to the back of the boat if I wanted to, in the right way. There we go, click it in, turn it round, and I've got my system. If I've learned anything from this, this is a ram mount. Beautiful, solid unit for the Livescope. But if I've learned anything, I've realised that I've bolted this onto the frame of the top of the boat, and that is a bit flexible. So I would suggest anybody, if you're using this ram mount like this, or any mount maybe stiffen up that, which is exactly what I'll be doing. I'll be stiffening up that section there so that that doesn't have that amount of movement. But yeah, let me know if you've got any suggestions, because it's best I learned something when I first started instead of down the track. Thank you very much.
I went all the way out to try and catch Barra, and here they are right here, right at the boat ramp. Oh, there's another one. Oh, they are amazing creatures. See his eyes shining over there. I wonder if there's any more. Probably everywhere. Over this